Welcome to
Oh,
another episode of Life in Bloom with Jess, where I sit down with the incredible women in my life, having honest, intimate conversations rooted in their own personal journeys. These women have helped shape who I am, and my hope is that their stories can somehow change your life for the better too. My next guest is someone I've been lucky to call a friend since 2012. We met in San Diego over a decade ago and have been growing, evolving, and cheering each other on ever since. She's 32 years old, originally from Sacramento, California, and has honestly lived all over the state of California, LA, San Diego, San Francisco. And for the last 8.5 years, she has called Las Vegas her home. She earned her BS in nutrition sciences from UNLV and is currently studying graphic design at the College of Southern Nevada. She's a multi-talented creative working as a bartender, singing in a cover band called The Beats, and writing original music with her sister and best friend Rachel. And on top of all of that, she's gearing up to launch her own online shop for pet portraits and digital art commissions, which are so freaking good, by the way. She's
thank you.
thoughtful, bold, and one of the most creatively driven people I know. Please welcome my beautiful friend, Bekah Manning.
Hey, that
Hi.
was amazing.
You're amazing. Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course, thank you. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so excited.
So we talked a little bit about this when you visited me in Baltimore like a couple months ago, which was so insane having you be here. It just like I was just thinking about the first time that we met and how our friendship started. You were one of the first people I met in San Diego, and I just think it's funny how like we met through somebody else. We immediately got so much closer. It's like I don't know. It's like I felt like we just met and like
Like,
we attached to each other like glue. Like it just made sense.
absolutely.
And I appreciated, I guess, like the pureness of our friendship because you are a year older than me. And, or yeah, right? You're just a year older than me, right?
Mm-hmm. Not, I
Yeah.
don't even think a full year.
Yeah. No? Okay. I think you know why. I think you're
Your birthday's coming up.
my birthday is soon, but you know why I think you are older than me than you actually are is because I was the last one to turn 21 and like waiting for that in my mind felt like 500 years.
Yeah.
So, I think that's why in my mind you're like you are like this older, more wise like person, like sister to me, but really it was because like I just sit at home for like almost a year while you guys were going out without me, but that's fine.
Well,
But
we grew up too. Like, I feel like we were like growing up together, kind of, because when we met when we were
yes.
18 and 19, and so
Mhm.
it's our first time like out of, home, and we were just like growing up together at that time, and so I don't know. It probably feels like I'm way older when we're younger, if that makes sense. Like now it
Yes,
doesn't feel like I'm way older than you, but maybe back then it did.
it did that. Yes, exactly. 100% yes. Give me 14 of those because when we first met,
Even though
I had just turned 18 and I was like I didn't know anything. I was scared shitless. I was so sheltered. I didn't know how to make my own decisions. I truly did not know anything. And when I met you, I just felt like you knew so much and you were teaching me so much and sharing so many things with me that I never felt comfortable enough to ask any other girls or
yeah,
women in my life at the time. And so you were just so, that was huge for me to like have these conversations about anything and everything, whether it's just like friendship, girlhood, sex, body, like anything, men, all that kind of stuff. It's so
hmm
special to me that like you were that person for me then, and I just love that now that Butter just moved to Vegas, like at least she knows someone there and that person is you. And I
That's,
just love you so much.
oh, I love you. It's just so cute to like think about our friendship back then because we did just click like right away. But yeah, you were like so sweet and like innocent and like I mean, same, I feel like you brought back like an innocence to me. Not that I wasn't like innocent, but I feel like I tried to grow up really fast when I was a teenager. I was going through a lot of stuff with my family and stuff too, but like I feel
I
like
feel
I
like you
tried to,
had to grow up really fast. I feel like you had to
yeah.
go up really fast. And even though you're the youngest of your siblings, I feel like you've always been the oldest, though, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I just had an interesting life, but
Mm-hmm.
at that time that I met you, it was perfect. I feel like it was a really good time to meet you because we had like a kindred spirit. I feel like number one, like we were meant to meet, I feel like, and like we just stayed, we brought out each other's like, or you brought out like my true like self. And I just don't know why like this thing keeps coming back to me when you and I were like, it was just a day where when I lived with Jadine and we lived next to the beach, like 4 blocks from the beach in San Diego, and you would come over to our house all the time. But there was a day where we didn't know what to do that day, and we drank a lot. Okay, I'm not gonna like sit here and sugarcoat it. Okay, we normally drank like all the time,
Yeah.
but that day we were like, I don't want to drink. I want to like go do something. And we like took, I don't know if you remember this, but we took our bikes. You took Jadine's bike, or maybe you took your own bike and I had my own bike. And we just went on a bike ride, like all around, flopped around, got like ice cream. And we were just like being insane, like just cute little girl, like acting like little girls. And I'll always remember that day because it was just so like sweet and innocent, and like I don't know, it was such a good day and I'll always remember it. And I don't know why I'm like thinking of that right now, but
I think it's because we've always been able to be that version of each other with each other,
mm-hmm.
without like any judgment, which I feel like is why we are so connected. And I totally agree with you. And like, I just feel like you are someone I was always meant to meet and have in my life. How would you describe yourself in 3 words?
Quirky is like the
Mm-hmm.
first word that's coming to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Passionate,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess I'll say
Yeah.
kind hearted. I know that's 2 words, but it's like hyphenated, so it's one.
I feel like you have a special gift of being able to see different perspectives, like you're of other people. Like you, I think you're just really good at understanding where anyone is coming from, like no matter what.
I definitely try to understand where people are coming from because everyone has their own perspective of life. They have their own things they're going through. I think something that I've like noticed in the last however long, a couple of years, that is that you'll never be able to fully put yourself in someone else's shoes. You can
Mm.
do your best to do so, but you'll never know like what's going on in someone else's brain. You don't know what's happening in their life. And I think that's led me to feel really lonely a lot in my life. Like I'm the only person that feels that way, but it's like I feel like everyone's going through that and you're never going to be able to put yourself fully in someone's position. So just
Mm.
being I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but just being able to be kind-hearted with people, I feel like is helpful in this, I don't know, for me.
No, it's true because not only do you not know what people are going through, you're never truly going to understand why they are making certain decisions that they are, or why they are being a certain way, because you'll, again, that just goes back to how they've grown up, their own experiences, their own trauma, or anything like that. And honestly, along the same lines, that is something I've also been trying to be more mindful of, so I don't take things as personally
Mm-hmm.
anymore. That's something I've been trying a lot harder to just keep at in kind of top of mind when it comes to anything and anyone, and kind of for whatever type of interaction, as much as like if I'm having like a full on conversation or I don't like how someone is treating me, all the way to like someone cutting me off in the parking lot. Like the other, like, and this is such a simple form of that, but I'm trying to apply it into all those areas where like instead of me freaking out, I'm like, you know what? She's clearly having a bad fucking day. Maybe like, let me just not like make this even
Mm-hmm.
10 times more of a dramatic situation. So
Yeah.
I totally feel you on that. Who is one of the most influential women in your life?
Oh my gosh. I have a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You're like hands down one of the most influential people in my life for sure. I'm not just saying that because I'm on your podcast, okay? I'm saying that because you actually are.
I
Like
love you.
seeing your journey has been so amazing and I'm so happy we've like stuck by each other through it. Just seeing you grow is very, very inspirational. Just you freaking did the damn thing, dude. Like you fucking worked hard to get where you are. So you for sure. My
Thank
mom's
you.
one of my, of course. My mom's one of my biggest inspirations too. Like she started her own business when she was 25 as an architect, and worked for the Beverly Hills School District with her career. We moved down there from Sacramento. She also grinded. My sister Rachel, obviously, as well. She's my best friend. She beat cancer. Like there's just so many. Like I have some beautiful women in my life that are huge inspirations to me. So I don't know. I think that would cover majority of it, but
Yeah, because you like your mom, and you're so close to your family too. You have 2 older sisters and an older brother and one younger sister, right?
mm-hmm. Younger half sister, yep, on my dad's side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
And
she's a huge inspiration too. I don't know if you've ever seen any of her videos, but she fully makes um her living off of doing cover gigs, but she's like so good. She sounds just like Janis Joplin. She's
no
awesome.
way. Do you guys sing together?
We did went so she visited us 2 years ago and we hadn't seen her since she was like a teenager.
Hmm.
And back then we didn't really try singing, but she visited us and we definitely sang a lot. We did a lot of karaoke. Yeah.
What is one of the most important lessons your mom has taught you?
To stay strong, to be
Hmm.
a strong woman. Like basically like things are going to happen in life, but you just got to stay strong and power through it.
Was there something that you witnessed her do that kind of imprinted that lesson into you?
Yeah, well, growing up, I saw my mom go through a divorce with my stepdad and keep moving on and, finding love in other ways. She also, without getting into too much detail, she lost her business when I was about to move out to, after I graduated high school. And she went through like a really intense lawsuit and just went through a lot of really intense things. She like went to jail for something she didn't do, like lots of things that were like so crazy that I would never picture my mom going through. But
Hmm.
she still came out on top of all of that, like she won the lawsuit. My mom is just like a living testament to like staying strong through your life and getting through the difficulties of it, facing things head on. So I feel like just like throughout life, seeing her go through her trials and tribulations has been an influence on me in my strength in my life.
What's something that you were afraid to do, but you're happy you did it in the end?
Oh my God, literally so many things. Anytime I've moved, because I've moved a
Yeah.
lot, anytime I've moved has been like a leap of faith kind of thing for me. It's never been like super thought out, like the move to Vegas was kind of thought out, but it also like I was in a relationship at the time, like had a huge friend group that I didn't want to leave, but it just felt right to do it. Like I don't know, I just felt this like pulling in my soul to go here.
Can you talk more about that, because you have moved a lot and I think
Mhm.
moving is really scary. Like uprooting your entire life and everything you know and your friends and all that kind of stuff and everything that you're used to somewhere else and starting over, whether if you have like a small connection or not, is a scary thing, whether if it's a few hours or if it's in a different state or if it's across the country. Like what is it that has inspired you to do that, and where do you find the courage to take that step?
Yeah, so I was basically forced to move the first time when my mom got a job in LA. We lived in Northern California, where I was born in Sacramento.
Hmm.
So she took the Beverly Hills job as a contractor to work for the school district there. And so I was freaking out. I was what, 12, 13, I think. And I was
That's a
thinking
hard time
about,
to leave somewhere.
yeah, and going to LA was like crazy to me. I was like, LA, like I'm gonna get kidnapped. My mom always makes fun of me. I would be like, Mom, what if I get kidnapped? Like just because we're going to LA. So I freaked out about LA. Because I was so young, I didn't have tons of friends when I was younger, but I had a good like few friends that I'm still friends with actually. And I was sad to leave them. I had just found that I loved cheerleading at that time, and it was
Oh.
completely different because I was in a small town up there cheerleading and it was like a thing. And then when I moved to Beverly Hills, I was like, ew, they're just like dancing all sexy. That's not what I want to do. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. But so the first move was kind of just like what my family had to do. And I was so scared, but it ended up being like the best thing ever. I made such amazing friends down there. I really started to shine as a human being because I wasn't as like um I was very shy and when I was up until that age, but when I moved to LA, I was kind of forced out of my comfort zone. And so I started making friends. I was doing more like music stuff. I don't know, I was just living differently and it felt really good. It felt like it was like a very necessary part of my life.
Interesting. I did not know that you were shy when you were younger.
Oh,
That's so
yeah.
bizarre for me to
Yeah.
know.
I had friends and stuff, but I just kind of like was one of those little dweeb girls. Like I just kind of like did my own thing. I didn't have like a ton of friends that I would like.
Do you think it's because maybe when you went to LA, you met different friends and that were creative in different ways, and that you felt like maybe you weren't necessarily surrounded by those kind of people in your hometown?
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, it was like way more diverse. It was a completely
Mm.
different thing for me because my hometown I was living in was like majority like white people. When I moved to LA, it's like 70% of my school was Persian. It was just more diverse in general. So I'm meeting like way more types of people out there. There's a lot more obviously entertainment in LA naturally.
Yeah, you guys, you ended
So
up on a reality TV show.
oh my God, stop. That's a whole other story. So anyway, back to answering your question because I keep going on 20,000 tangents. Sorry.
That's fine. That's what that's what this forum is for.
This is what it's like to be my friend. I'll talk about like 20 other things when you ask me one question. But yeah, so back to the getting the courage to move. My mom started going through that lawsuit too, right as I was about to graduate high school. So,
Mm.
and I had visited my siblings who lived in San Diego several times.
Oh, okay.
And
So they lived there first. Like,
they
was
lived there
it
first, yeah. So they
okay?
had moved.
Okay.
So when I moved to LA, my brother was already like in college age, so he moved to San Diego, and then
Oh,
Sarah
okay.
followed him there, my
Mm-hmm.
oldest sister. And so I would visit them all the time, and I would have the time of my life. I'm like, I want to live next to the beach. Like, I'll just go live near my siblings. And since they were there, that was what pulled me to go to San Diego because I was like, I'll figure it out. I think I just got the courage because I wanted to change. I didn't want to stay in LA. I didn't want to stay doing the same things. I wanted to go do something different. And so I just chose to move to San Diego. And then leaving San Diego, I got the courage to go up to, I wouldn't even say it was the courage, to be honest with you.
Because I was shook to my fucking core when you moved away from San Diego to San Francisco.
But do you remember how depressed I was?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really bad. I was
Yeah.
really depressed. And you tried to
Yeah.
help me a lot too. It was just really, really bad. I got really, really, really depressed. Not the whole time I lived there. Like there were so many great parts. I had so many great parts of living in San Diego, but something just like got to me where I just like was not okay after a while. I don't know if it was because I felt like I wasn't moving towards any direction
Mm.
specifically or
Mm-hmm.
I felt like stuck, I guess, in
Mm-hmm.
some way. And so I had two of my best friends at the time lived in San Francisco. And I was like, I'm not going to like San Francisco. It's cold. Like, I'm not going to like it up there. And they just convinced me. I moved up there with $1,000 to my name. I sold my car and moved up there not knowing where I was going to live. So I just stayed with my friend Diego for a while. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was like 2 or 3 months, and like everything fell into place when I moved up there. Though
Wow.
I ran into a friend on the street. I literally ran into a friend on the street, and there she was like, "Where? What are you doing right now?" And I was like, "I don't know, just walking around." She's like, "Do you want to go get lunch?" And so I go get lunch with her, and she's like, "Have you found a place to live yet?" I was like, "No." She's like, "I have a room open in my house." So I was like, hell yeah, let's go. So I found a place to live really easily. Diego also helped me get a job. That's where I got my first bartending job. It was at a Italian hotel bar and cafe. So yeah, everything kind of just like fell into place there. And I honestly had the probably some of the best years of my life up in San Francisco because I felt like I was truly finding myself at that time.
Do you think that you making the decision to take care of yourself, like identifying that I'm upset, something's not right, I'm depressed, I'm unhappy, I have to make a
Mm-hmm.
change,
Mm-hmm.
let me take this
Yes.
leap, and all of those things falling into place, like what do you think that means?
No, that's totally it. I think it is where I get to a point where I'm just like, okay, I don't have any other choice. I either need to change my environment or, because I've always been really self aware, like throughout my whole life. And I do feel those, that intuitive feeling to like change things. And I'm
And that's a
actually,
testament, that's a testament
mhm.
to act on it. Like listen to that. Like
So I
what is
guess,
your body
yeah,
telling you? Like listen to yourself, like trust yourself because the fact that you did that and everything does fall into place, I feel like speaks
very
volumes.
true. Very, very true. Yeah, so I think it is that. It is just like kind of listening to myself and whatever that like little inner voice deep within my soul is kind of trying to tell me. But typically, if I can look back, like majority of the times that I've moved have been like I get to like a interesting emotional point. Now, I don't know
Mm.
if that's good or bad. If we're talking like in therapeutic terms, like I don't think that's very good because you could go with that like the idea of leaving your problems, moving to get away from your problems.
Okay.
I just don't know if that's really what I've been doing this whole time, because I feel like every time I have moved, things do fall into place. Everything works out. I figure it out, and I feel better. I also can say that it's not always going to be moving that's going to fix those situations. It could, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't know if I want to live in a desert forever. I live in Las Vegas right now. I'm getting to a stagnant point here too. And so I'm trying to almost, in a way, rebuttal those feelings of wanting to move, because I'm like, do I want to move, or is there something in here that I still haven't addressed in my life at 32 years old? You
Oh,
know?
that's so tricky though, because I see the 2 points that you're making, but I do think that there's a difference. I do think there's a difference between like not wanting to deal with X, Y, and Z and leaving. I also think that's different when like you do need to just start over. I think sometimes a lot of
Mm-hmm.
shit goes down and you need to fucking get the fuck out of there. I think that can also be true. However, I also think it questions this kind of, I don't know, outdated way that all of us have been taught to live our life. And when I say that, I mean, like, what is wrong with wanting to explore, wanting to do it because that's how you want to live your life? Like, what
Mm-hmm.
is wrong with that? Like, why
Yeah.
is it that we have to stay in one place or have to do one thing? Or, and I was talking to Des about this, about completely changing her career, of like her going to school for years for education and being a teacher, and like a lot of what held her back from going into, something else, or not feeling like she had to go back to teaching, is like the guilt she put on herself. And it's something that she still struggles with. However, what she does now, like, she is experiencing things that she's never felt before, And I feel like
Absolutely.
sometimes we put that on ourselves, where it's like, I don't know. Again, like, I totally understand what you're saying, but I just feel like, from what I know about the things that you've done and also everything you've done in that specific place, it doesn't feel like you're running away. I just think
Mm-hmm.
that it's so cool, and I admire you for like listening to yourself and being like, I want to try this, so I'm going to go
Oh
do
yeah.
that. I think that's
No,
I think that's so
absolutely.
fucking cool.
It is. Yeah. No, you're right. I agree. I appreciate that. I do think it's really cool too. I lived a very interesting life. I think it's because I've definitely chosen to do those things. You make choices. That's what life all is. I think right now it gets more technical, because there is, like, I do have kind of an inkling to move somewhere else. Like, I really miss living near a body of water that isn't a
Yeah.
lake. And
Yeah.
I really miss the ocean, man. It gets more technical as you get older. Like, for instance, I feel like I'm not married yet, but I'm in a very serious relationship, and I also have 5 pets, and so, and I'm like back in school and doing things. So, like, moving right now doesn't really, like, logically sound right to me. So I have to
Mm-hmm.
kind of decipher and fight the urges to want to move right now, because I would like to at least finish this part of my schooling, at least, which is going to take like 2 years.
Totally.
And then contributing to, like, trying to make the decision when you're in a very serious partnership, or for you, like, you're married, like, trying to make those decisions, you do have to consider your partner as well. And so
Yeah.
it's kind of rough, because I've always been a very independent person, and it's really hard for me to make those decisions now, knowing I'm in such a committed relationship to someone I'm more than likely going to marry in the next few years, and it's really hard to make those, like, life decisions. I'm still figuring that part out, like, this is the longest
Yeah.
relationship I've ever been in. This is the most intense partnership I've ever had. And so that is something I have to consider. I can't just be like, I'm just going to up and go. Yeah, I could. And whoever's listening to this, you can too. That's totally up to you. And it's totally relative to your life. My choice is to not just up and leave my partner. So
You're growing
alter
through
how
that
I,
new phase. This is new
yeah,
territory for you. Yeah.
exactly. Because it was different when I moved from San Francisco. I was in a different relationship, and I asked him to move with me, and he didn't. And I feel like that said a lot to me about, and I was also 24. It was like just different circumstances, right?
Right.
And I knew I needed to do that for myself. I knew I needed to move. I could feel it. And so I did. And, it unfortunately didn't last, because we tried long distance. I also took it as a testament to our relationship too, that he didn't want to go with me. when
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to be here temporarily. So I asked him to move with me temporarily, but like it didn't work. So like it's all relative. Like I've done it before too, where I just chose myself and did it, and I've done that, and you have to, right? So it's like that. I don't know. That's something I'm still like struggling with. I think because I don't know how to decipher those things.
You're
But
navigating through that right now.
I'm
You're learning through
navigating
that
through
right now.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like that's a testament to your growth because like you can recognize all those things. Whereas like maybe before you're like, I don't know, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you recognize like what's important to you and that multiple things are important to you and you want to give space to each of those things. And I think
Yeah.
that's really, really cool. When you're having a bad day, what is something that you do to get yourself out of that mental space? Like is there a ritual or like a practice that you recommend?
I crash out sometimes, not gonna lie.
Which is
But to
fine, which is I think that should be a part of it though.
some days I
Like
just gotta come in my like this room is my little studio room. So I have a room with my boyfriend. We like share our bedroom, and then we each
mhm.
have our own studios where we have our own space. So for me, and I feel like that's very necessary also if you're able to do that with your partner, beautiful option.
Damn,
Uh
okay, blessed. No, for real. Not y'all
no,
having your own rooms. For real. Okay, I
no,
love
yeah.
that. Yeah.
No, we
Yeah.
it was his sister's idea. She did that and we were like, we need to do that. We need to do that. Because
Yeah.
we're both so creative. We need our own little like area. But so anyway, for rituals, I would say I come into this room and I'll just kind of like either lay here with my kitties. There's a cat next to me, by the way. I'll show her in a second.
Mhm.
I'll lay here with my cats, kind of deep breathe a little bit, just lay here, kind of look at the ceiling instead of looking at a phone, like just chill. A lot of the
Mhm.
times when I do this, I will just cry,
Mhm.
getting a good cry out. Okay.
Mhm.
Also a bath or a really good shower,
Mm.
like a good
Mhm.
shower.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, Feeling clean. Also singing. I'll just play the piano and sing if I
Mhm.
need to. It kind of depends. Like, I think it's really like, I don't know. I don't have like specific rituals, but those are the things that I would do to kind of like get myself back to myself and calm down.
Mhm.
For anyone listening, I would highly suggest putting a lot of your energy when you're having a bad day into something creative, even if you're not an artist, or even if you're not even if you don't think you can draw or write or whatever. Like, put it down somewhere, put it on something, get that energy out. So either like if you like to sing, go sing a karaoke song, a sad song, I don't know. Go draw, color something, get it out, like just get it out of
Mhm.
there, write it down.
I think that's such good advice to put it somewhere into something. Even if it's like
Mm-hmm.
talking to yourself out loud or
Talking to yourself. Oh, I
whatever.
do that too, actually, a lot.
Mm-hmm. So do I. Yeah. No, I think that's so good. And I love that. And I agree with you too when you're like, because to hear when you mentioned the piano thing, I thought to myself, oh my God, like that is so cool to like literally be able to play the piano and like sing. Like for real. Like
Oh,
being able to do that and like put that somewhere and like make something beautiful and like have that type of creative release. I just think that's so freaking cool. But I do agree with you when you say like you don't have to be you don't have to be an amazing singer to still have that feeling of release. I think it
absolutely.
can benefit you in some way. So I love that so much. What is something that you're struggling with right now and how are you dealing with it?
A lot. A
I love
lot.
you. I love
I'm like, I
you.
don't know which one to talk about. I think the best way I could sum it up is I'm struggling with figuring out what I need to do now, where I'm at in my life right now to feel at peace and to find like
Yes.
a balance with myself, because
Yeah.
just being super raw and real about it, because a lot of days are not the best, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of days are really good. So I can't sit here and say I'm like I'm super depressed right now. I have ADHD. I was diagnosed 2 years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
knew I had it, but I finally got diagnosed, but it's very much aligned with depression, chronic depression and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And for people that don't know, ADHD and depression and anxiety, they like go hand in hand. So it's a kind of like a constant struggle dealing with those things all together.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a lot of emotions, a lot of things going on in your brain all at one time.
So I think I've been kind of struggling with that. Um, just knowing more about my mental health and understanding it a little bit more and trying to figure out what works for me now, as far as, I don't even want to say the word coping because that would mean I'd have to cope my entire life, but just kind of like
Living with it, like living
living
with it,
with it, living
making it
alongside
work.
it,
Yeah.
making it work. Exactly.
Yeah.
So those, I think that's like my main struggle right now, because I'm trying to, get somewhere that I am proud of with my life. It can hold me back sometimes, but I'm trying to navigate it right now.
Is this where we are at this point in our lives at this age? Like, I
Maybe.
think it's like you now where we are, and we have this ability to be self-aware. We have this ability to recognize what we like and what we don't like, and like recognize and identify those feelings of like, I don't think this makes me happy. Like, we've gone through those phases of dealing with things or being in a situation or a relationship with someone that we don't want to be with, like dealing with those things. And it's almost like the more you get to know yourself, it does get a little harder because it's harder to deal with things that don't feel right within your body. And so
Mm-hmm.
I resonate with you when you're saying that, because I'm trying to navigate that too. What is it that I don't like about this, and what do I have to do about it? Like, where exactly do I want to be? Because now it's like I recognize that. Now I can actually acknowledge, like, I don't think this is who I am anymore. I don't think this is who, maybe this isn't like me anymore. Maybe, it's just like all of those thoughts. And so like I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it's because when we get to this point in our life, and both of us have done so much work on growth and therapy, and like needing to dive into those things and needing to like acknowledge that shit that we've been ignoring forever. So it's like the more comfortable we get within our own skin and who we are, it's like the louder those other things are becoming. Oh my gosh, Mimosa keeps coming into the camera and it's like the best thing ever. That can happen the entire podcast, literally. But like, and I don't know what that is either, dude. And I think I think that that's just something we have to like accept. Like, I don't know what
Mm-hmm.
that is either, and it can be overwhelming and confusing, but also at the same time I'm appreciative of it, and like I'm proud of us because we've done the work to now be able to recognize that like something needs to happen. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, and like that's part of the reason why I started this podcast. Because here, you know what I think this too, like when we're very creative people,
Mm-hmm.
and so sometimes I try to tell myself, like, like people have to do stuff that they don't like all the time. Like,
Yeah.
what is it? Like, is that just a part of life? Like, is this something that I just have to deal with? But I think, like, when you're creative, if it's not me, I don't know if I can accept that. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what that is. And it's part of the reason why I'm doing this, because like these kind of conversations with you and with people that I love, like I feel like I am the most me in this space than I have been in a really long time. And that's what I
Oh,
was searching
good.
for. I was having a hard time and like questioning, what does that mean? I don't know what that is, but like doing this and starting this makes me feel like myself, because these are the kind of conversations that I'm having. Like talking to you, like these are the conversations that we've always had.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I totally resonate with you on that. And that's why I love so much that like you make music. I think that's something that people give up, whether it's like a passion or like an outlet for them. And you have made that such a priority with you and your sister, and performing and like making original music. I think that is so, so important, because I feel like normally people would be like, you know what, I just can't right now.
Mm-hmm. No, a lot of people don't do it. And I also like admire that you're doing this in the first place. This is a creative outlet as well, but it's also giving you the opportunity to fulfill that inkling that you've had, right? And
Mm-hmm.
also I think it's really important too, something to add to what you were saying about that is that it's gonna change too, like during
Mm-hmm.
whatever you're going through. So like
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna find different ways to adjust to what you're doing at that point in your life. So right now, for instance, like this podcast is what's bringing you that fulfillment, right? For me right now, it's like being in school for a creative thing rather than nutrition, right? Um,
Yes,
but like I'm not
yes.
going to be in school forever. I'm not saying your podcast is ever going to end. I'm just saying like it could be something different that helps you down the line, like through another part of life, you know, and it's always
Yeah.
going to change. And like, that's what's beautiful, but you know, you can always come back to it too. Like, for instance, there's times in my life too where I'm not doing music as much. And I like start getting like this weird, like, I start getting that, I don't know what else to call it, but the inkling to like,
Mhm.
oh, I should probably like sit down at the piano for a minute and like try again. And then I like do, and then I get back into it, you know? I just think it's really important to recognize like it's gonna fluctuate. Just like how our weight fluctuates and stuff, like our bodies fluctuate through different seasons of life, our,
Yeah.
you know, our hair color changes. Maybe we go through different phases with our hair, or we go through, you know, different things, hobbies that we enjoy, and we grow out of them, or we, you know, dismiss them for a while and come back to them. I think that's just like a normal flow of like how life kind of is.
I agree with that, and being okay that they change, you know?
Mhm. Accepting the change. See, you mentioned acceptance too, and I feel like that's like been a huge thing I've been trying to basically accept. I guess I'm just kidding, but bringing acceptance into my life is like, it's very difficult sometimes, but you can't change what you're not able to change. So
Mhm.
the only thing you have control over is like your own self and
Mhm.
what decisions you make. A lot of things you just have to accept in life, and that can sound really bleak, but I don't mean it in a bleak way. It's like
It's
that can
not,
be a
it's
beautiful,
honest.
once you just accept it and like get there, it feels better that way, because you're just like, okay, well, what can I do about it, right?
What's something you do for yourself that brings you joy? Like, how do you fill your own cup?
I really love to exercise. I love to move my body, which I never thought I would say that, but kickboxing is like my mode of exercise the last 3 years, and it really helps, obviously, because you're punching something and kicking something, but it's like a whole community around that. Uh,
When you say that you never thought that you would say that like moving your body or being like physically active would bring you that kind of joy, is it because that was never an interest for you and like that and like it's a surprise that now that's an outlet?
yes. I think well, I've always tried to be pretty healthy since I was like in high school, I want to say, but I've struggled really bad through my adult life with staying committed and consistent with exercise. And I think that's
Mhm.
what I mean. And I've also understood over the last like 3 or 4 years that it really, really helps my mental health like a lot. Like I
Mm.
feel that. So like on days that I don't exercise, I can tell the difference in my mental health than on the days that I do. So I think it brings me joy like on a chemical level as well, like in my brain.
Mm. Mhm. And recognizing that. And like do you
Hmm.
always feel like you want to do it or do you think that sometimes it's something that you have to force
No,
yourself to do because you
no.
know you're going to get that at the end?
Yep, it's like what you said. You said that on one of your episodes that you had to start forcing yourself. The way you started working out was forcing yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of days where it's just like, no, I don't want to today. And then I just go anyway. There are also are days where I don't force myself to go. Okay. If I really don't want to and I'm like, no, we're not doing it today, I won't. But I do know the consequences. Like I probably won't have as good of a mental health day if I don't. Like I
Mhm.
know that. It's really hard to get motivated to do something that you've never done. How are you supposed
Mhm.
to do that, right? And so like I think a lot of the time it is kind of just doing it, like making yourself do it, at least to get
Mhm.
started on things. The example of your podcast, I don't know how long you've been thinking about doing this, but
For forever, dude. Like literally
that's the thing.
forever.
There's so many
Yeah.
things I've thought about for such a long time instead of just taking the action to do it, because I don't know if we wait around for motivation or the right time or whatever, but a lot of the time that won't happen. If you have that idea, you got to try to just like do it. So I've been thinking about going back to school for 3 years, dude. And I finally was just like, all right, dude, you need to go. You need to just do it. And I did it. And now I'm like so happy I did. I'm so happy I'm in school. I like honestly love studying graphic design. It's really fun for me. So if this says anything to anyone listening, like try to take the action, man. Just like start.
Like sooner than just waiting on some sort of like, I don't know, epiphany you think is supposed to happen.
Kinda.
So how long have you and your boyfriend Alejandro been together for?
We're gonna be together for 6 years on the 17th of May.
I wanted to talk to you about your relationship because you guys broke up for a period of time and you got back together. And so I was wondering if you could share some advice on how do you make the decision of giving a relationship a second chance?
Oh my gosh. This is something I'm still working through. So we've been back together for 2 years. We were only separated fully for 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been back together now for 2 years. So it was like a little mini break, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if it was going to be a break. I think like obviously follow your heart is like the best thing I could say, kind of to touch back on what we talked about earlier with like those feelings I get to leave or like change my life a lot. Like that's kind of where the breakup came from. I was
Mm,
in a very tough spot in my life 3 years ago, and I didn't know how to function. Like, I literally didn't know what to do. And I felt like I was holding him back from doing things he could do. And I felt like I was also holding myself back by being in the relationship from healing myself.
mm,
But I think once I spent a lot of time alone, during the period of time where we were broken up, I was able to kind of finally understand those things about myself
mm-hmm.
and kind of realized that it wasn't the relationship, it was inner healing I had to do, and that I could have done that in the process of still being in the relationship. So,
Do you think so
without,
though? Or do you think that it was not, it was actually selfless of removing yourself because of it could have turned into a selfish situation because of where you were internally?
that's true. There's a lot of perspectives I have on it because part of me still has a lot of guilt for uprooting our life the way that it happened. But I knew I needed to do that. So, yes, there was like, I definitely don't think I would have understood myself the way I do now if I didn't take that time. I don't regret it. I think I still have a lot of like guilt surrounding it a lot of the time because I hurt someone I love. That's why.
Of course, and I think
So
that's
it
something that you're growing through and dealing with, which
mhm.
totally is understandable and makes sense. But I do want to say though, I think that you loved him enough to remove yourself from the equation because that was also protecting him too. I think
Yeah.
sometimes when you are in that
That could have hurt him
place.
worse than that, probably, if
Exactly,
I had stayed.
exactly. Yeah, and I think that I admire you for that because I feel like I think it's easier to do the other thing to when you don't know what to do and you can't figure that out. Instead of figuring that out internally, you look to somebody else to solve the problems and to fix you. When you were like,
Mhm.
"No, this is actually on me. I need to figure this out and I love you enough to go figure that out so I can love you the way I want to love
Mhm.
you." And I think
That's
you
so
should give yourself
true.
credit for that, dude.
Absolutely. No, I do. I feel like it took a lot of courage because it was not an easy decision to do that.
Right.
And him and I are we've always been really good at communicating with each other, and he knows the struggles I have. And so he knew
Yeah.
through the whole process what was going on. And I needed that separation though, because I couldn't tell if it was the relationship or if it was something I needed to fix, like not fix, sorry, not fix, but just something I needed to really pay attention to within myself. And if we didn't have the
Yeah.
separation, I wouldn't be able to know that it was something more internal, going on with me. If I could give any advice, it would be to listen to yourself, do what you need to do for yourself, but just be really communicative with your partner when you're going through this stuff, because if you want to be with someone for life, like you have to be able to get through these really rough periods of time with each other, because that's what you are when you're in a partnership, like for life, like that's your life partner. And there's going to be times where you guys don't even like each other really sometimes, because like you're going through life with somebody, and that's frightening. That's so scary for me to like, also to like, a lot of the things I learned through this time too is like accepting that someone loves me through all that.
Mhm.
No, like accepting that someone can love me through that stuff is like, all of that shit is
Yeah.
really intense for me. After having some self-reflection and taking a lot of alone time, I got to a point where I had to find courage again. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of humility to get back together with somebody when you've taken the chance to not be with them,
Yeah.
because people are going to think what they're going to think, but only truly you know what you're feeling. And yeah, so I just took a leap of faith and called him one day. And luckily, I got very, very lucky that he also wanted to try again. It was a lot that first few months, first year, I want to say. And it still can be a lot. There's a lot of wounds there. So yeah, I
But
guess
you're working through it though. You're working
we're
through it and you're
working
not
through it.
trying to act like nothing happened or not acknowledge each
No.
other's feelings. Like it takes work if
Oh
you're going to make
yeah.
that
Like
decision.
if
Yeah.
anything, I feel like the breakup, having that happen to our relationship has built a stronger foundation for us to allow us ourselves to really, really deeply talk about things. Like I love my relationship. We have a lot of amazing things going for us. I think it's just navigating like your own issues together because like each individual has their own things that they go through every day and you guys have to both figure out ways to come together and support each other. We choose each other every day, you know.
Hmm. What advice do you have for making your relationship work?
Trying to talk kindly to your partner is very important. Speaking what you need to your partner is really important as well.
Mm, mm-hmm,
A lot
mm-hmm,
of the time you can't just figure it out. Like definitely don't be afraid to tell your partner your needs.
mm-hmm,
And then also accepting your partner for who they are, not who you want
mm-hmm,
them to be. And if that
mm-hmm.
is something that you can't do or you don't feel the desire to do, then I would kind of reevaluate like what you think about your relationship because a lot of people will fall in love with potential of someone instead of who they actually are.
Waiting
Yeah.
for them to be someone who you think that they're supposed to be or that they're going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I would say like accepting your partner for who they are and if that is something that doesn't fit with you as for your needs, then that is something that you need to look at for yourself and kind of
Mm-hmm.
like go from there. But I'm not saying break up with your partner if you can't accept them for who they are, but that's kind of like the thing. That's kind of what it is. That's kind of what a relationship is accepting and loving that person.
That is
Do you
totally
love
what it is. I
do
really
you
do
love
think
that person?
like
If they didn't change
yeah.
anything at all right now, do you still love them? Are you still willing to like work through, like go through life with them? If they were to be this way forever, like, is that okay for you?
No, it's so true. I think asking the hard questions, having the uncomfortable conversations, not sweeping things under the rug, and vocalizing what you need, vocalizing how you feel. I think that may sound simple, but I do think a lot of the times, like, you don't. And just that's just from of my own experience or just seeing things in my life or seeing other relationships growing up. It's like, you're clearly upset. Like, are you going to say that you're upset? Or are you just going to act upset? Like,
Mhm.
and I think that makes a massive difference.
Finding whatever works for you as far as not unloading everything on your partner and expecting them to fix your problems for you, which you touched
Mm,
on, but like
mm-hmm,
a lot of the time, just being vulnerable here with any relationship I've been in, I've kind of depended on that partner to make me feel better, you know? And like, I think it's so important to find the things for yourself that can calm your system down and like relax yourself. I'm not saying your partner shouldn't help you at all with those things. I'm just saying if you have like you don't want to come in hot to your partner all the time with your
mm-hmm,
issues. Like if you're super activated emotionally, maybe consider calming yourself down a little bit before you approach whatever you're upset about to your partner because that's going to make or break the way that your conversation goes about the issues too.
mm-hmm.
Does what I'm saying make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'm actually really happy you said that. That's why I'm so proud of you for you to say that for a long time you will look to your partner to fix your problems. I think that you were really brave when you did what you did because you didn't want to do that this time.
Yeah. You know, there's situational things where it's like, oh my God, I like literally don't know what's going on in here. Help me. Like, can you help me try to figure it out? Like, and that's also important for your partner to be able to be there for you. And he's so there for me in so many ways that I'm like so grateful for that for him because I go through a lot, man. We all do. Like, we all have our
Yeah.
emotions, you know, and it's
And
hard.
they can help you, but they can't be your solution.
Hmm. Exactly.
What advice would you give your 15-year-old self?
Stay true to yourself and maybe don't pick up that drink.
Hmm.
What I'm talking about is when I was younger, I was very firm on being straight edge. I think it's funny to say straight edge, but just I never was wanting to drink. I always was very adamant about that, and I don't know where that came from. I'm assuming from my childhood, like watching my like, you know, things around me be really chaotic and have alcohol
Yeah.
involved. So I like,
Being the younger sibling too, possibly with like having three older siblings.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I would say I would say to her, stay true to what your, inner beliefs were. But
Mm-hmm.
also, I would say to her, you're still going to be okay. Like, you're going to be fine. You're going to love the crap out of life and you're going to enjoy it and you're going to get through the struggles that you have and it's fine and everything will be okay. I would also tell her that.
When do you feel you're most beautiful?
Oh, I actually feel the most beautiful I've felt in a really long time right now in my life,
That
which
makes me
is
so
crazy.
happy.
And it's really hard for me to admit that. But I like it's funny because I'm back to more of my natural state. Like
Mm-hmm.
my hair is grown out, my natural hair. I wear my hair natural more often. I don't wear a lot of makeup lately.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I don't know, I feel like I feel the most beautiful right now, which is crazy because like that's been a struggle my whole life of feeling like
Mm-hmm.
I'm beautiful. So I'd say right now, when I'm more in my natural state, is when I feel the most beautiful.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy to hear that, and I'm so proud of you because that is a hard thing for anyone to feel and to want to say about themselves. And I feel like that's something that we all search for is just like feeling comfortable in our own skin. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you've done a lot of work to get to that point. And so I'm just so happy for you.
Thank you. What
Mm-hmm.
about you? When do you feel the most beautiful?
I feel the most beautiful when I am at home with my family and it's like some sort of celebration, whether it's a holiday or just like all of us are in town and we're in my parents' living room and like we're all just like singing songs and dancing together because like
Your most
I'm
authentic version of you?
my most authentic version of myself. Like I
Absolutely.
can be myself. Like I have no makeup on. I'm in like comfy cozies. We're with each other. I don't have to refrain any part of myself and it's just completely free. And like that's when I feel my most beautiful because I'm also surrounded by everyone that knows me like my authentic self. And so
Yeah,
that's when I have that feeling.
that's so beautiful. I love that.
Thanks,
That's such a
girl.
good point, actually. You took it kind of outside the box because, like, that's so true. I also feel the most beautiful when I'm around people that I know love me so much for
Yeah.
who I am. Yeah.
And you can just be like you can just be yourself. I feel like that's something like the older you get, the more I'm thankful for people like you in my life and my family because you can literally feel the difference when you are completely relaxed and feel safe and just
Absolutely.
comfortable versus feeling the need to be a certain way or can't necessarily say or talk the way you want to talk or whatever. And I feel like the more we go through life, the more situations we kind of sense that how like precious that time is. And like we talked about that
Mm-hmm.
when you were here, of just like when we were hanging out, we're like, damn, like this sucks. Like I don't have any friends like this out here. Like what the fuck? Like but you just feel it. Like you can feel the fucking difference. Even just like being with
Absolutely.
you and like for those like few hours, like you just feel the difference. And it's like
Yeah,
there's nothing like it.
I love
What is
that.
something that your younger self would be very proud of you for?
Living in a peaceful home, creating a more calm lifestyle for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and getting here to that point. My God, Jess, I thought we were going to be laughing and stuff. We're so emotional.
We have been laughing. We laugh when we
I,
cried. Same shit.
that's so true. That's just our relationship. But yeah, oh my God, well, it's cute too because like I said, I've listened to all the episodes so far, and like I know the questions you're gonna ask me, but for some reason, you actually asking them to me, and then me like going back and thinking about those things is like it's different because
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in an extremely chaotic household, so I never even thought about that question, but
Mm-hmm.
that is what it is. I'm looking at my home. I have a sleeping adorable kitchen next to me. I
Mm-hmm.
have 5 beautiful pets. I have a very normal boyfriend. He is not out there trying to party and be crazy all the time. He just comes home and is an amazing, calm person that has brought me so much peace and
Mm-hmm.
tranquility into my life that I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
I would ever experience, I don't think.
I agree with that so much because it's hard. It's hard to create that when there's so many things that happen to you to try to like persuade you to go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that's something that like you should be proud of yourself for because it's really freaking hard to do.
And you too, dude. Like when I did go visit you last month, and seeing your little peaceful lifestyle too, I'm just like, hell yeah, dude, look at us. Cause like,
Look
same.
at us. Who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk it?
Not
Not
me.
me. Not me. Couldn't have been me. Oh, look at us all grown up and stuff.
I know. I don't like asking people if they have any regrets because I genuinely feel like everything happens for a reason. Is there something that you learned from a hardship that you could share that might help someone else who could possibly be going through the same thing?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I regret anything because I don't think I would be the person I am today
Right,
if
right.
I didn't do any of the things I did. I would say just talk about it. Talk about what you're going through to somebody.
Mm,
If you don't speak it out and tell somebody, you might not get clarity on the situation or you might not be able to get out of it. We need community. We need people around us to help. Like that's an innate thing. That's like a human thing, human nature,
mm-hmm.
if you will. And I mentioned earlier in this podcast that I was really depressed when I was about to leave to San Francisco from San Diego. I
Mm-hmm.
remember specifically a time too where I was like reclusive, like where I was not talking to anybody. I don't know if you remember this, but I literally would like go to school, go home, lay in bed, not do anything. I was just not doing well, and I wasn't talking to anybody about it. And there was a day where you called me and made me like you're coming to hang out with me today. I don't care what we do, what we're doing, but like you're coming to meet me. I don't remember if we went and saw a movie or what we did that day, but I remember sitting in the parking lot with you just absolutely sobbing. You basically just told me that you're always there for me and that you wanted to basically just that you wanted to be there for me to help get me out of where I was. I don't remember the exact words that you said, but like I just remember being in the car with you and I'm sobbing because I was just like, you want to know what's wrong with me? Why? Like yeah, so I would just say like that was like a really intense moment because I feel like that shifted things for me, and that's when I did decide like soon after that to move and like attack this issue I was having in my life because you basically made me see that I could do like you can do stuff about it. It's okay. Like
Yeah.
you got this, man. Like just having someone there for you. But the thing is, like, some people won't have someone to go to or feel like they don't have someone to go to. Just go to somebody. I swear. Like, it'll make a huge difference in your life if you're just kind of vulnerable with somebody. It's scary though.
Mm-hmm.
I get why it's scary for people, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
No, I totally agree with you because I feel like when you are going through such a hard time, it's like you don't want to say it out loud because it makes it
Yeah.
scarier. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're like then that it kind of makes it real. So I totally agree with you with like being just it's okay to acknowledge like shit isn't good, something's wrong, and
Hmm.
you want to figure it out. And I feel like it's
And
taken
it's bold
me.
to choose to figure it out, you know?
Yes,
That's bold.
exactly. Yeah.
Because you could stay like down if you want, but like, why? There's so much life to live.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I was younger, I struggled really bad with that. And that was like, like, if I had a regret, it would be to not have spoken on it sooner to somebody, tell someone
Mm.
how I was feeling and try to get out of it, you know?
Thank you for sharing that, dude.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for giving me a place to share it. Do you have one?
Yes, no regrets because and that's why I ask that question that way because I agree with you as well. Where I am finally at a place where I don't have regrets, and I'm thankful for those really shitty things. And I think it takes a lot of time to get there. So like,
It
and I think
does.
that's fair, and you have to give yourself that time too. Because a long time I did regret shit, a lot of shit.
Absolutely. Same.
Yeah, yeah. But I think the hardship, thinking that you have to settle. And I remember when I was in my really bad relationship, I remember literally having a moment thinking to myself, well, this is my only option. Like, I'm not going to get anything else. Like, no one else is going to, who else is going to like me? I remember thinking to
So
myself,
crazy.
like who else would love me? Who else would think I'm pretty?
Oh,
Who
that is
else would?
so crazy, bro.
But
That,
dude,
oh,
and I think, and it
man.
goes back to like the value of self. I remember like being in like the room and like living in a place that I didn't want to live in. Like my life in that moment was literally everything that I despised. Like I didn't like my living situation. I didn't like where it was or how it was. I didn't like what I was doing. I wasn't taking care of myself. Like I had completely let everything go, and not just like myself and like my health, but just like I felt like I was letting everything go that like was me, like everything that I felt like really
Mhm.
made me who I was. And I just remember thinking to myself like, well, this is it though. Like what else am I supposed to do? Like how do I get out of this? And
Mhm.
it's scary, especially like when you're living with someone and you don't know anything else and you don't know where else you would go or what you would do.
Mhm.
And I think the biggest lesson I would share is that you don't have to settle, and that isn't your only option, and you can and you deserve the life that you want. And
Absolutely.
it took me a really really long time, and I stayed in that situation for years because I felt that way about myself.
Mhm.
And so I think that is something that I would share.
With both the things we shared, non-regrets, but lessons we've learned, like we wouldn't have learned them if we didn't go through them. So,
Totally.
and that's where like the whole thing comes from, where you get to the point where you're not having regrets anymore. Cause like you really wouldn't have learned that lesson maybe if you probably wouldn't have. Like that was part of your path to get to where you are now. And same for me, like everything leading up to this point was necessary for my growth.
What's something you're looking forward to?
Whatever this I feel like a big urge like in my body that I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's something coming though, and I don't know what it is, but I'm like so excited for it, whatever it is. No, I'm not kidding. Like I feel like this is like a
I
pivotal
love that.
point,
I love that.
but I don't know what it is. So I'm like really excited for whatever that is.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's what's keeping me like going with all the things I'm doing right now and just like getting up and like doing the things. So I'm excited for whatever that is. And then more like tangible thing. I'm going to Warp Tour in July.
Oh, you
They brought back Warp
are.
Tour, yeah, and I'm going in Long Beach, and I'm so excited. Even though like a lot of the bands, I'm like, I don't know who you are. I'm just excited to relive Warp Tour because that was like my first concert I ever went to when I was 13, and like
It
now I get to.
was.
Alejandro's never been, and he is so excited too. So I think it's just gonna be really really fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's
Oh,
gonna be
I'm so happy for you. That's so
yeah.
cute.
Isn't that
Oh, that's so
fun?
cute.
I'm like so stoked. We have so much fun at music festivals together too, but like the fact that he's like so excited to go to he's like, I never thought they were gonna be Warped Tour back. I thought I would never be able to go. And I'm just like, yay, we're going. So
Oh my
that's gonna be
god.
fun.
I'm so happy for you, and you get to go to Long Beach and you get to be by the water and all that kind of
Beach, yes.
stuff. Okay, now I have like a few rapid fire questions.
Okay.
What is your favorite karaoke song?
Right now it's Rock With You by Michael Jackson. But it
Gerald and
like
I saw you singing that. You posted a story of you
oh
singing that at some
oh
bar, and
yeah.
it was so fucking good, dude. We were
So
like, "Oh
fun.
my god, look at Bekah!
Oh
She's
my
singing
god. And
Michael
everyone's
Jackson."
always like, yeah, because everyone loves that song and everyone loves Michael Jackson.
What is something everybody loves that you can't stand? And this can be anything. This can be a movie, a show, something pop culture, an actor, a song, like whatever. That you just like, what the fuck? But everyone's like, oh my God.
Well, you're gonna hate me for this one.
Say it.
The Kardashians and the Real Housewives shows. Sorry.
That's fine. I don't hate you for it because I know a lot of people hate it. And it's, you know what? And it's that's fair. Like
I
that's
don't hate it though.
fair.
Like it's funny. It's just so easy for me to find humor in it, and
Yeah.
so I do like reality TV. I watch. When we were watching Temptation
Jersey.
Island. That
Oh
was
my God.
like
Yes.
I love reality TV. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't. I think it's just because like it's maybe I'm a little jealous because I'm not like rich like that. I don't know, but like
That's fair.
glorifying like rich people so much just like kind of pisses me off a little bit. So I'm just like It just kind of annoys me, but maybe that's more of a jealousy thing. I don't know. Also, I was on a reality show, so I know how staged everything is. So it's just like
Can you please give like a just a short like synopsis of your reality show,
people are
please?
gonna look it up.
Can you please?
Yeah, it was a Canadian reality show, and it was this might be aging myself, and a lot of your younger listeners will probably not know what this show was, but do you guys remember Sweet 16? My Super Sweet
Yes.
16? So
Yes.
that's not the show I was on, don't get too excited, but it was a Canadian kind of that idea of a show called Party Mamas, where the mother plans a party for her kids.
Yes.
And so these people approached my mom in Vegas because my mom's very like,
She is a party mama. Like I
well,
would go up to her too.
yeah, like even how she looks, she's just like, she dresses very like form-fitting clothing. She's just bodacious, like a fucking bombshell. Love my mommy. Uh,
Yes.
but they went up to her and they're like, "Do you have like kids celebrating a birthday or something?" She's like, "No, but my daughters do music. Like we could do like a CD release party or something." Oh my god, CD release, hilarious. We don't even listen to CDs anymore. They're like vintage now. Okay. But yeah, so it was a CD release party, and it was just ridiculous. And it's completely staged because it's almost like you're improv acting, which I'm not good at. I'm not.
So everything is staged as far as like for reality TV. So basically like they're do they go up to you, do the producers, are they like, okay, Becca and Rachel,
Mhm.
you guys, this is your CD party, we want you guys to get in a fight, like
Yeah.
whatever, like make it work,
Well,
and then they're just
yes.
like action.
Well, because they have to film scenes, right? They're still filming something. So you can't just like walk into somebody's house willy nilly and start filming them and just expect everything to be fine. You have to be mic'd up, number one. Number two,
Right. Right,
yeah,
duh.
right. Yeah. You have to be mic'd up. They have to set all the camera angles up, but they have to make it interesting. So they have to add more dramaticism to it. And so you're, like I said, you're kind of improv acting because they'll set the scene for you. So they're like, okay, um, right in this part, we're gonna have your fake producer show you your recording of your song, and you and your mom are not gonna like it, and then you're gonna be upset about it with each other. And so I this is the scene I remember doing most because they show us the song. I'm like, I'm not really into it, and my mom's like, no, that's not my daughter's music. And then she just all of a sudden is like, and don't you dare say anything to me about blah blah. I'm like, whoa, I like have to act like we're in a fight.
How old were
No,
you
we
at
should
this
watch
time
it.
again?
You and I
How
need
old were
to
you?
watch it. I can't believe we haven't watched it before. It's so funny. You would die the whole time. It's like 20 minutes of absolute chaos.
Why
Uh,
haven't I seen it? Like, honestly, you're right. Like, that's actually criminal that I've never seen it
yeah,
before.
a lot of my friends haven't because it's really embarrassing. Because my sister actually got laryngitis like right before, and she's the one that's like the actress. So she was supposed to be like the main thing of the show, but because she was so sick, I had to like take over a lot of the big parts of the show, and I'm just so awkward in front of a camera, and like every time they're interviewing me, like my eyes are twitching and I'm like, it's so funny, bro. I can't. It's so cringy, but it's honestly so funny too. But yeah, it's all like that's why it's just funny because you're there. It's staged, and you know my music. You know what my music sounds like, right? It's like
Yeah.
alternative rock,
Yeah. Yeah.
sad music too, kind of. And like they had a scene where they made us go to a fucking dance studio to have someone choreograph our music,
To dance to your music? I'm
and
dead.
we're
Wait,
both like, yeah. And then at the end, me and Rachel were like, "Mom, we're not pop stars. We're
like let
not
us be
Britney
who we
Spears."
are. This isn't us. This isn't who we are.
But it was just funny, like random. It was the fun. It was like one of the funnest weeks of my life. I'm not gonna like sit here and act like it was bad because it was so fun. But yeah, it's so staged, and so I think maybe when I'm watching reality TV, I just know how staged it is. So I'm like
Wait, how old were you?
almost 16 years old.
Oh, that's so perfect.
Rachel was 18. Yeah, that was funny.
What is your comfort movie or comfort show?
OMG, comfort movie is either The Wedding Singer
Mm-hmm.
or 50
Mm-hmm.
First Dates, which is so funny.
Oh.
They're movies, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. I love Adam Sandler movies.
No, so do I. So do I. Wedding Singer is definitely one of mine too.
Or anything in those like 40, like during the time of 40-Year-Old Virgin, those are also kind of comfort movies.
Yeah.
And then shows for sure,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
New Girl and How I Met Your Mother.
Yes. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's, oh, and of course Jersey Shore if I'm in like a fun silly mood.
Oh, duh. Oh my God. Hell yeah.
Remember our Jersey
We,
Shore nights?
yeah, we would watch Jersey Shore every Thursday night and have wine at Jadine's apartment. Your guys' apartment.
Yeah. And
It was the
right
best.
before I met you for my 18th birthday, I had a Jersey Shore themed birthday party.
No, I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, it was funny.
What song do you listen to when you need a good cry?
I've been obsessed with Wildflower by Billie Eilish. I cannot stop listening to it, but I don't cry to
Dude,
it. I just feel it emotionally, like viscerally.
same.
Um,
Same, same,
Aside
same,
from
same.
that, do you know The Night We Met by Lord Huron? I don't know how to pronounce. Lord Huron. I also have a whole rainy day playlist, so like basically putting this on when I want to just like
Totally. I
be
have a
in
cry
the mood.
playlist as well. I have a cry playlist. Yeah, dude, totally. No, I feel you.
I
I'm
like how
like
these
the
were supposed to
exact
be
same
rapid
way.
fire, but I'm literally taking 20 years to answer every question.
Ooh, what do you listen to when you need to lift your spirits or to help you get you through something?
If I Don't Look Down by Kygo and Banks.
Okay. Send me
Yeah,
both of those songs. Send me both of those songs.
I will.
And this is my last question. Do you
Oh no.
have a non-conventional hack that you could share? Like I always share my blowing my eyelashes up for my
I was
mascara.
dying knowing that your mom's the one that showed you that. I don't know if you ever told me that before.
Yes, it's my mom.
That shit is so funny, bro.
The
Didn't
first
I
time
like
I did it,
every time
it
I
was in
see
the
you all,
mirror. In the mirror, I think we were at the apartment, and I did
and
it.
your
You're like,
eyes are like,
"What the fuck are you
I just
doing?"
walk in, you're like this. I'm like, you're like, what? What? So what's up?
Just
What is
my
that?
eyeballs all up. Yeah.
What's that? What's going on here? What is that? I probably just started dying of laughter, honestly. Because nothing you did surprised me. It was just like funny. I still haven't tried it either. I
It
have,
works.
but you have
But
like different eyelashes than me. Mine
yeah,
like
no,
are
yours are already perfect. Like
no, stop it.
you don't need to do it. Like
Just
they're
relax
long
with the
and they
perfect.
curl up naturally. It's fine. You don't need to do it.
What is a hack? I don't know. Don't put it down, put it away.
What does that mean?
It's really good for people with ADHD, mostly, but
Ah.
so instead of like just setting things down like wherever and creating a pile of mess, you have a place for things. And so instead of the second you go to put it down, you're like, oh no, these glasses actually belong right there in their spot.
Ooh, I love that.
Or like having, like, for instance, I have specific hooks, like obviously a hook for my keys, but like it's in a very specific spot and I have to put them there or else I will not know where my keys are. Like, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if that's helpful for anyone, but don't put it down, put it away, put it in the right spot so that you don't forget where it is later.
No, I think that's actually extremely helpful and something I need to apply to my life now.
Oh, also one more hack to eat healthy.
Hmm.
Um, rotisserie chicken, microwavable rice,
Mm-hmm.
frozen vegetables. Flavorful, easy hack. I don't know if that's a hack, but that's such an easy way to eat a healthy meal.
Well, thank you for doing this with me. I love you so much. This was so much fun.
I love you so much. Oh my gosh. I could talk for like 20 more years, but let's cut it short for the people. I'm just kidding.